Good morning. Welcome to the March 30th, 2017 webinar for managers and Track Pulse. I'm excited to be here today. Patrick Power on the webinar again today. Today's subject is all about just verifying your settings as we head into the summer season. I do know that we're going to be busy. Several of you are already in spring break season down in the Carolinas, Florida's coastal areas. Some of you are going to be gearing up for Memorial Day, and some of you are just opening for the season if you're one of my smaller clients, or smaller in size, not smaller in reputation. So today's all about settings. I'm going to give you a couple different spots to look, make sure that you are set up for success in the 2017 peak season. This is where we make it or break it, and we basically say yay or nay in terms of having a good year. So I'm excited for everybody attending. This is something that I am checking on accounts regularly. However, not knowing some of your business models directly, it may make sense for you to also check it over. So we release a lot of new functions and features over the course. We're rapidly developing all the time, and so sometimes you may not even know that there's a new setting. So that's what today's webinar is all about, is just do a quick overview. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick description of every setting, or a lot of the key settings, just to make sure that you know what is there and what is not there. So that's the name of the game. If you have any questions afterwards, once again, feel free to send a ticket to support@trackhs.com. Mike or myself will be getting to you as soon as possible. Also, if you would like to schedule a session to go over your settings, we can do that also. So today's session, all about settings, all about making sure that we're ready to rock and roll. Some of you are still in setup, so you're probably going through this with Mike right now. But the first thing that I'm going to do, just show you once again how to get back there. Configuration up here in the upper right. And then you're really into your main setup area. Everything's broken into three sections. Pulse setup, which is going to be everything about your agents and how phones are going to route. Everything in CRM setup is going to be anything related to your leads and how they behave. And ultimately, your company setup is going to be how your overall system is going to work, and your users and things like that. So a couple of things in highlighting your users. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click into edit one of my users here. You're going to actually notice that there's two checkboxes. I think I mentioned it in a previous session, but these email notifications. As you continue to manage leads more effectively, hopefully the webinars are really starting to do that. There are two email notifications. For all new users created moving forward, as of when we release this in early January, these are checked by default. If you had any legacy users, so people that were in the system before January 30th or even early January, I encourage you to check these settings. The first one, daily lead summary, what that's going to do is it's going to send you one email in the morning, and it's going to have all of the leads that they have a follow-up today or in the past. So that is the first one. The second one, the lead follow-up, that's going to come between 15 and 20 minutes before the actual follow-up is scheduled, and it's going to give them a link right to that lead. So either one you can use, or you can enable, I should say, on an agent by agent standpoint. So if one agent wants it, the other one doesn't, you can set it up independently. So that's the first setting. And then other options within the user that have changed a little bit. First one being this team. We released teams shortly before we released coaching and goals. But teams are a way to group your agents into similar managing parties. So depending on how you are, if you have a big enough reservations team, you may have a reservations team 1 and 2, A and B, however you want to phrase it, to make sure that people don't get a little bit down. Or you may have, depending on your size, you may have a reservation team full-time and then a reservation team seasonal or part-time. What that's going to do is it's obviously going to allow you to look at your full-times versus your part-times or seasonals independently. So that is that there. A couple settings there that I want you to verify on your users. On your roles, there's always new role settings getting created. And how this all looks, obviously this being our demo account, anybody that has a super user can see everything and anything in the system. Anybody that is not marked as a super user, I'm just going to go ahead and check into my reservation manager. If that box is unchecked, everything down below the fold, below that first save button, is going to be looked at. So that's just where you can kind of check how your user behavior is going to do. I'm not going to go through each one of these. I'm currently working on a document that defines each one of these and what it does and what it doesn't. Many of them are pretty self-explanatory, while some of them are a little bit more obscure. So that is where you can look through here. If you don't know what one of these means, or you think that you may need to give them access to that, feel free to give us a shout through the course of it. So those are just two things there. Couple things here as you look at your brand setup. Brand setup is once again where your email layout is configured. Key things that you want to look at here, your email layout. Check your year. We are just about a full quarter of the way through the year of 2017. I know I caught a couple of them that I fixed for you guys. 2016 was still in there. Obviously, we want to be current, make you guys look as much professional as we hope to be. So that's one thing to check in your layout. You may want to change your colors, maybe want to change your branding image, things like that. Feel free to do that here also. If you want any tips and tricks on your email layout, a lot of you, I probably have a very basic one in there. You want to add your social media, you want to do different things like that, just give me a shout. We'll get you all tuned up and ready to rock and roll for your peak season. The other thing, just take a quick peek, make sure that it is what you want it to be, is how you want to send them. How that basically looks is it's going to get sent from a lead email address. That's fine. But the from name is what, when you look at Gmail or you look at Outlook or whatever mail platform you may be using, is the bold name on the left-hand side. In this case, we have it set up as agent, so it's actually going to be the agent's name sent. Some people want it to be the company name, so Blue Harbor Resort. And some want it to be a little bit more specific in regards to a custom. So they may actually want it to be Blue Harbor Reservations or Blue Harbor Group Sales. And when you check this here, although it's a little bit deceiving, the below is actually above and it's right here. So you would set that there. So if you wanted it to be Blue Harbor Reservations, you would set it right there. So that's just one setting that you can take a peek at and make sure everything is going well. So those are a couple things to look at brand setup wise. Things to look at in CRM setup is definitely your lead notifications. Occasionally I'll get a support ticket and I always just like to bring it up when I have the opportunity to the masses or people that may be watching this after the fact. This is where you can control how many emails based upon a lead that you're going to get. The first checkbox is anytime a lead is updated, whether it be status, whether it be value, whether it be follow-up date, things like that, it's going to send the lead owner a notification if that box is checked. So that gets to be a little bit overwhelming. Now, anytime that a lead gets an inbound call that the agent assigned to it didn't take, that's a good email because it's letting them know that somebody called in relation to one of their leads. Same thing as outbound email. It's letting them know that somebody has sent an email in regard to one of their leads. So I usually check both of those. I think for most of your guys' setup, that is the case, that those two are checked. Under lead preferences, this is where I encourage, this is a feature that came out a couple months ago. Once again, it is really up to you on what you want, but I encourage all three of these top ones to be checked. What that does is it's going to get you the best marketing data out. It's going to get you the best data in the system, and it's going to make your users adopt to the system a whole lot more frequently and faster, especially for you new users of TrackPulse. So always requiring campaign, that's pretty self-explanatory. It's going to automatically put the lead campaign set to the phone number if you have a campaign set to that phone number. If it is a phone number that doesn't have a campaign, that will show up for the agent to select. So that is up to you on how you want that to work. Arrival date, that's pretty self-explanatory. In that every lead that they save, every time that they save it, they are going to require an arrival date. And then the one call closes. This is one difference. Before, when TrackPulse was first launched, so some of my early adopters out there, if you are not always creating a lead on a one call close, what is happening is you're just getting the data relevant to the sale. You're not getting any notes. You're not getting anything like that. So I would encourage you to do that, because when you create that lead, it's going to get automatically marked as booked or won. What's going to happen is your marketing department can come in, pull demand lists and things like that based upon arrival date, based upon that. When you don't do that, you only get your bookings in the final picture. So I definitely encourage you to do that. And then archive settings. I know I touched this briefly in the last webinar. This is when a lead becomes completely locked, stops popping up for an agent, things like that, in the behavior of calls. We also stop attaching additional emails and additional phone calls, voicemails, etc., to those leads after it's been archived. Knowing that, I definitely encourage either arrival date or departure date, and either 0 or 1 days after that to be your setting. If you are a high volume organization or multiple booking situation where they're calling in very frequently, you can set that on the close date, but definitely not best practice configuration. Lead types. Many of you are starting to get into this and understanding your different segments of your business. You'll see that we have leisure, travel, owner services, residential leasing, and group sales here in this account. Some of it could be snowbird versus transient or short term. Some cases, if you do per diem based rentals, you can do that also. So you do have the flexibility here of doing whatever you would like in the terms of your lead types. Lead types do allow you to customize your lead form. So lead status is not too much to be changing there. Lost reasons and auto close rules we went through last time, so we won't go over that again. If you didn't attend last webinar, feel free to attend or go to that private YouTube channel included in your registration email, and you can also listen back to it. Custom fields, this is a big one that I like everybody to know about in regards to making sure it's as up to date as possible. So when you're in here, the biggest thing that's going to be changing is your unit of interest. Your unit of interest is going to be things that change, especially in the VR industry. The VR industry has new units come on and off program all the time. And so you'll see here I have a very small unit list, but as you have units come on and off program, feel free to put it. If you don't have a unit of interest or unit type of interest field on your lead form, strongly encourage adding it. It's going to get you really solid marketing data out. It's going to really get you your demand curves and understanding all of that also. So feel free to make sure that you add that. If you have any questions on what I would suggest, shoot me a support ticket, shoot me an email, and we'll make sure that we talk through your best case in your business scenario. So look at your custom fields, do a quick analysis. If you have things that change occasionally, unit types, units, make sure that you just update that list, fine tune it to be optimal here as we head into the peak season. Tags here, this is a really good way. I don't know if I have any marketing people attending today, but this is a really, really, really good way to actually group your campaigns into similar mediums. You have a lot of print, you have a lot of brand, you have a lot of PPC out there. Keep in mind, TrackPulse is not just a reservation call center tool. It is a very, very, very intelligent marketing tool. And I encourage everyone to spend a lot of time in marketing. If you're not the marketing person attending the webinar today, feel free to get them in contact with me so we can really sit down, do a marketing analysis. One thing that I am doing here in 2017 is sitting down and giving a full analysis on marketing, understanding your marketing budgets, understanding your ROI, what you're doing in spending terms. And what that's going to allow us to do is really understand, possibly if you're doing things in the right area or not. So if you haven't had a chance to do a marketing review with me, or your organization hasn't, feel free to get the people in contact with me as soon as possible so we can do that as we head into the summer season and really just flush everything out, make sure that we know, make sure that we're tracking as many dollars as possible to the right campaigns, so we can have the best year, best quarter, best month, best days ever here in the near future. So what you'll see here in sales links, many of you are using manual sales links. That's what we first launched TrackPulse with. Keep in mind that we have connected with several platforms over the last year. And so what I want to do is just do a friendly reminder of who we're connected with. That way, if you're not connected and you use one of these platforms, we can. If you don't see your platform listed here today, what I encourage you to do is reach out to me, get me in contact with your rep at that property so we can get the negotiation started, we can get the process started. Because what I can tell you is that if I can get a connected system with your property management system, we are going to have great success and more success than you're seeing today. So you'll see here, we are connected with the HomeAway brand, so that includes only the two systems of V12 and Escapia. It does not include Property Plus or anything legacy beyond that. So once again, Escapia, V12 for the HomeAway product, which are their two supported ones. We are connected to IQware in a two-way interface, so you can actually pull data from TrackPulse and put it into your IQware system and vice versa. Track Property Management System, that is our proprietary property management system that we own and manage. Springer Miller Systems, we do have several connected partners. That system uses the Diplomat server. So if you are using Springer Miller, you have the Diplomat server. It takes about 30 seconds to get that enabled. Just reach out to your rep and they'll get that party started for you, and then they'll get me in contact. T-Links, that is a tea time management and booking system. So unless you use T-Links, that's probably not one that too many of you are using. And then we do also have a custom API that if you are using a proprietary system that you built in-house and you want to connect that system to TrackPulse, let us know. I can get that API over. We can get that done. Things that you don't see in here that we're also connected to that use our custom link. We are connected to Virtual Resort Manager, VRM. We are also connected to RDP, Resort Data Processing. That is also in there. And then last but not least, we are connected to the Maxton product suite. So Maxton systems we're also connected to. So a lot of connections out there, a lot more in the works. And if you are in question on where we stand or you'd like us to get in contact, feel free to shoot me a quick message on what you use, and any contact information definitely helps us along the way. So those are the sales links. Take a peek. If we are connected, obviously there's going to be nothing that you have to change there. Everything in Pulse, I know I've done a lot of in-depth reviews with people. Couple settings that I do want to have people take a look at, because I do know hours start to change right about now, is take a peek at your call plans. In this case, we have quite a few call plans, but what you can do is come in here, take a quick look at your call plans. In this case, we're open from 8 to 8, and you can see that right here. But in the event that you're changing hours, just make sure that you go ahead and change your hours here Monday through Sunday, and just take a look, make sure everything is accurate. So that's your call plans. That's one thing that you always want to look at. Also, another thing that I have a lot of tickets starting to happen. Not a lot. I shouldn't say that. We don't get many tickets actually as a company, but we get a decent amount of questions in regards to what happens if I have an agent book a call, but they need to transfer to an ancillary department, whether it be restaurant, spa, guest services, something like that, maybe the front desk, but you want them to still be able to mark the call as booked. It's a really simple setting. When they transfer, they're more than likely using that directory number to transfer to those departments. When you hit edit, agents can transfer is going to be there, but then you'll see that this force wrap up. When I check this, what's going to happen is it's going to leave that disposition screen up for the agent where they can actually change the result from transfer to booked, which is actually the outcome of that call. So in the event that you need that, you can do that per directory number here. So if they're going to be transferring and different things like that, they'll be able to mark things as booked and still transfer the call. So that's an important setting that you're going to want to see. Other settings that you're going to want to make sure that you're just taking a quick peek at is take a peek at your caller ID, which is going to be right here. general practice says that you're going to want to use a local number. Local numbers have better pickup rates, better conversion rates, things like that. And so you're going to want to make sure that you set that as your default caller ID as a local. So I would definitely encourage you to do that there. So give me a quick shout if you have any questions on things that we discussed. Those are just a quick couple of data points that I really want you guys to take a peek at. Other things that you can also take a peek at here is your outbound recording. If you're not outbound recording, we did release that function in January. It is a nice feature due to international as well as local and state laws. It's best practice that you let everybody know that you are recording the call, especially on outbounds, and the agent will be prompted just as a friendly reminder to do that if you were to enable that. All you have to do is hit enable here. Basically, you sign a quick little rider to the MSA signaling that you are going to let the caller know that you're there being recorded, and then you're there. So I'm just going to go ahead and save it. We get a ticket just so you know. You'll get a friendly call from us just walking you through, making sure you know also. And that's how that all goes. So any questions, just let me know and we will be in touch. If you want to have that marketing analysis meeting, also let me know. And we can be in touch with your marketing department. Or if you are a marketer here attending today, you can let me know also. So I appreciate everybody attending. Just a quick overview of some very important settings that I want you guys to take a look at before the summer season approaches us too fast and we don't have time to do it, or we get caught behind the 8 ball. So give me a call and we will go from there. I appreciate it. Thanks.